what you eat and eat what you know. But then when it comes to our cars, is that really the case? Do car owners and drivers really understand what goes into the feeding of their car? And are they feeding their car with the right stuff or the quality stuff? Welcome to Church Hall Diaries, the official voice of all transportation issues right here in Ghana. To say sometimes mokotofu on now attendees no omu to me bo and from agum. How true is that?
Yampa, because sometimes now I think that was Sunday no. Na mi da kaswa we station car. Timi ko no na mi fu na ba for me timi so mami to bi wo go filling station we wo kaswa no mo. To fu 7 million. But 7 million no at least say me ejuma for 2 days. And son I met me I top up. But 7 million and to me even one day no crab before me pon around 7:30 to 8. Now me gauge no crash so. Until I don't know the reason why me catch me mate no crash say what? The top four was shama 7 million and 6 million. At least to me take here about 2 days. But when no 7 million no even 2 days no crash and even one day no crap me gauge na as red. Until am papa some muka say am pa sometimes some machine until no say government no hwe na saa de no ebe jai na jai because can e di better fuel no next time e better na and even we say yen come make no because of cheating na omu cheating no ya ntumi am make saa say na sa ka una no so no feel say bia ya wia no one thing is say machine no ya drivers no ya nimu omo na omu seti omo ade but in the one aspect na omu ya ni say ombe clicking no mess no all right ma wa obe hu so mo clicking no mess no but so obe mia we no pump na fuel no beba no obe di kan bu inframa no first ansa na fuel no beba nti enu yes yen to me challenge no say obu inframa wo car no unhu na so mudi we nsu she tank no ma unhu say ba na say emba just obe say machine no ready but fuel number amba sisi an filling station for no bonde yes probably because ebu akra kotokra no abun from mama ube say u kwa bon say u ka na short en kan say bia u geji nye adwuma we hu say pa wa ka okwem ananyem na metofu asisi anu nti filling station for nso de I mean, Islam pa semu bi ka monyo munka because saadi enje enye kra se obeto fuel metimi sika to fuel no abun from mama mi.
But one kasa we experience be that say we boom from mama wana say for no the gumu no e bia na nsuo wo ma na say be fufor wo ma e say wo ka we nya sa experience na da.
Oh manya experience ni bi da.
Then pan is here.
Oh me call the sat matter fuel. Me ko mandu bebia na mu se jana dum miss parky na dum miss parky na dum me fi se bia stopper no kra na sent me ko two stopper miss parky na dum na me yi abia me de geji me ko shemu wow o se mo ko to fuel from sambegum
ene de yenya bebre one of the filling station we kura ba ase hanmo am say for now kan shada nya adwuma omutumi bu nsu egu efu ye ka ne mo de mayen na ese ye nji ana omubu mframa nso de mayen mo se be ene kura de bebre sa eda ho ye filling station we am pese me boni din omo start ya first be 100 series na obobuni na ye mframa obobu mframa na kuma sana fu e kakra bia ye de aba nti sa ade no so de ade a ekoso pa fu filling station omo ma ye adwuma na che no omutumi yes ade na omo de awiaye ba for now yeso yama yani ada ha nti ubufu na yeso ebi ayi tumi ko bugu gala mu kura na de aba na ye behwe agum na ma ne ma akoye de amaye nti sa ade de ekoso ade omo ye nti omo hwe omutumi ayi bibia fa ho omo hwe no omo ye bibia fa ho
me nkoto ofu e wo filling station mo bia mu mframa na se ensuo e ma me da e bia na ye obi ba me de enya me ebi nsema kwan mu da na de metimi aka fa e ho no
na mpacho se wo koto fu osisi a wo ye den hu se ni awoto no eno anom de ma wo
fu no me check no about latest later no me call Goy filling station and I say be a star filling station minim said the later bia esitie nti mi wia me calculate hu say bia say 20 liters ana matwa e bia eye 300 ana say 500 enu de e ma me hu liter dodo a mato na say fu dodo a mato agu e hyen nim.
You're welcome back. This is Trotro Dice, your absolute favorite show on Saturdays. If you're new to the show, you're welcome. I hope you become a regular. But yeah, we come your way every Saturday at 11 a.m. And for the next 1 hour, we'll be bringing you what will be an insightful, educative, entertaining, program. And so, once again, you're welcome to the show. I'm Noella Karen Yali, and it's now time for our big conversation. Every now and then we bring you big conversations with big people, and today is one of those days. And listen, from fluctuating, prices at the pump stations to concerns about quality and quantity, buying fuel in this country or oil products in this country can sometimes be a gamble. But have you ever wondered what the nuances are or what goes on behind the scenes in the Ghanaian oil, industry? If you're one of those people, well, you're in luck because we get some clarity from the top. My guest for a conversation today is a seasoned energy economist. He is an oil and gas expert with over 15 years of international experience. No be beans, okay? And of course, he's currently the CEO of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, and he's here to help us, unpack the real issues from, the reasons behind fluctuating prices, price differences, at different kind of, fuel stations, to quality, consumer protection, I should say, to, basically how his firm or his chamber is working on establishing trust in the system. He's going to help us unpack all of these issues right here on the show. And so you're welcome, Dr. Riverson Oppong, who's the CEO of Comac.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you always this calm?
I'm a calm person.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't like calm people like that.
No, I'll be fine.
You're fine, eh? No, anyway, I love your get-up too. You're looking very sharp.
I'm looking Ghanaian.
Awesome. So you're welcome to the show. We're so honored to have you and glad as well. This conversation is long overdue, if you ask me. Yeah. But I'm happy for us to be having it now. So you have experience when it comes to the energy value chain, both locally and internationally. Yeah, I do. What perspective do you bring personally to the Ghanaian, oil marketing space?
Thank you. For your information, I'm actually a petroleum engineer. So I'm very biased to chemistry and physics. Okay. I used to work for an upstream company internationally. I came back to Ghana and I worked for Ghana Gas. So that's where I used to work before I joined the chamber as a CEO. I think I'm very good with technical and also the commercial bit of the business. So that's where the value for money comes in. Okay. So how much are you paying for what quality or even for what quantity? Okay. That's a pure project management tool. Looking at the cost, the quality, and the time. Okay. So having worked across the value chain, what I bring onto the table as a CEO or the lead person for the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies is to making sure that my members, first of all, get the best from the regulator and within the market. Because my role is like a referee between the regulator and the oil marketing companies, which call the filling stations or the gas stations. And it's not difficult. It's not a tough job if you really understand what you're looking for. That's if you are, I would say, industry oriented. Okay, because most of my members have personal and individual, I would say, ambition. And if you look at the number of filling stations we have today, it's a lot, more than 4,000 filling stations in Ghana. And we have about 245 oil marketing companies and LPG marketing companies, which is one of the largest numbers across Africa. Nigeria even doesn't have that number. So it tells you that we have a lot of people to deal with. And I believe if the regulator, which is MPA, will tell the truth. The number is making that work very difficult for them to control the quality and the service that's being provided. But it seems very difficult for MPU to cut the numbers and also make sure that we get the right people doing the right business. But again, the question is, what do I bring on board personally? What I bring on board from serving my members is also make sure the ordinary Ghanaian is not being cheated in terms of getting the right quality and also getting the value for money. I'll tell you the truth, but that 3 years ago, I got 2 of my cars' engine destroyed.
Because of bad fuel.
You know, I think one of my members had a fuel that came in that had a bad quality. But I mean, that questions the value chain checks, because before any vessel docks, before any vessel is discharged at Tema Harbour or wherever it's been discharged at, there are quality checks. So before that, the quality certificate is given, and before it goes to the tank farm, and they're giving it to my members, so that oil marketing companies, they are also...
So would get to those very important details. And I like the fact that you mentioned that when it comes to fuel issues, you have personal experiences yourself.
And it's painful.
Yeah. Which for me, personally, it makes me want to trust you as the lead of COMAC. But let's say you touched briefly on what COMAC's true mandate is. But I want us to stay there a little bit, because there are a lot of people who mistake you for a regulator. I don't know if mistake is the right word, but you should educate us. What is COMAC's true, what's your role and what's your true mandate when it comes to, the oil industry here in Ghana?
Thank you so much. So COMAC, which used to be the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, popularly known as AOMC, my predecessor is Mr. Kwaku Ajimendria, who's also very popular, late anyway, he passed away. But the AOMC was established about 20 years ago, plus, which was headquartered in Goil, with the then National Oil Company for Downstream, and also with the mandates given to the industry coordinator. So the Minister of Energy and even the Act, my role appears as an industry coordinator. So that time there was no BDCs, there was no seaboard that time. So the industry coordinator of the AOMC was to be the mouthpiece for all the marketing companies at the government level. So realize that I sit on a lot of committees and a lot of sub-boards at MPA, mediating for my members' interest. So my key role as an industry coordinator or the CEO of the now COMAC, Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, has to do with making sure that my members' interests are adhered to by the regulator. So I'm a single point of communication between the regulator and all the oil marketing companies. And also fight for their interest. And also make sure that even within my members, there's not so much of, there's a healthy competition, because I know you go there talking about the deregulation and regulation of the oil marketing business now. But we need to make sure that our members are also adhering to the safety standards. So when I go to a mystery shopping, because I do that a lot for the past 1 year, when I go for a mystery shopping, that's to check standards and safety and even the prices, I can question and advise. But when MPA goes and something is wrong, they will sanction you. To pay. But I don't sanction my members. I just advise and I put them on track. So that's the difference between myself and the regulator. Some people will think that I also now regulate the regulator. No, I also put the regulator in check. So yesterday we had a very long day workshop at MPA, and we let them know the issues that we see and what they need to do. So I think the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies is one of the major stakeholders of MPA.
Awesome stuff. So now let's get down to the real issues. And I'm going to start from one subject matter that a lot of drivers in this country complain about. And it's about the price difference at different, pump stations. You can be in the same city. You go from one pump station to another within close proximity, but then prices are different. Why is that? Isn't there supposed to be some sort of uniformity? Why is pump station A's price different from pump station B?
All right, thank you so much. We have been there before as a country.
Oh, okay.
Where all pump prices had to be the same. So that's what we call the regulated market. So before 2015, all pump prices had to be
the same.
Okay, until we went to a deregulated market. Okay, so the deregulated market means that members can sell at any price that they want, as far as you are obtaining two things. As far as you are able to pay all your taxes and levies to the government, and also pay the BDC that is also giving you the fuel to sell. So
BDT stands for what?
That's the bulk distributors companies, or BIDEC. All right, so they come in between us and the IOTCs. The IOTCs means the International Oil Trading Companies, right? So as far as you can serve these obligations, nobody cared how much you sold your fuel. But we realized that some members too were selling at a very far low price that didn't make economic sense, that was not justifiable in a way. I mean, some can justify because it depends on where they get their fuel from. So, but what the regulator has done is to bring a floor price system so that at least there's a minimum price you can sell your fuel at. Aside this, also, we have a price window. So it gives you, not necessarily a bracket, but it gives you a range at where you should look at when you're pricing. I'll be very honest to tell you that some of my members price because someone is pricing at a low price. So their neighbor or their competitor is selling at 12 cedis. Okay, mine is supposed to be 14 cedis based on my economics, based on the cost of the transport that I'm paying, which turns to MP is now fixed through the UPPF. But looking at the fuel price I got from the BDC I took from, and also the cost of investment. Maybe the person might have taken a loan to get the facility and has to pay for the loan with the interest. So he realized that he had to actually pay, to sell at 14 cedis. But because someone is selling at 12 cedis, he brings it at 11.5. He's making a loss of 2.5. And believe me, this goes so far that they end up not paying the government levies and taxes. If I tell you how much some OMs are owing the government, you'll be shocked. Billions of cedis. Okay, and that came through, this particular regime. So today, as we speak, for the past 1 year, we are practicing what the floor price is. But if you go to a filling station, the prices are different. It's allowed because the market is deregulated. Because when the market was regulated, the government could subsidize. That was also a long way. I think Kufuor's regime was very popular. They introduced the BDCs to take care of that burden from the government. So the subsidy was now paid by the government. Anytime I was supposed to sell at 12, but the government says sell at 12, the two cities difference was paid by the government. Okay, and that went into our budget. So rather the government was suffering. But the government says, okay, I'm not going to pay the subsidy anymore. Let OMCs sell at the pump price at the what do you call it? At the cost reflective price. So the cost reflective price simply means I'm selling at a price that will make
sense for you.
Makes sense for me. But I mean, one thing I always educate the public is the fact that my members are not cheaters. I don't see any of my members trying to cheat anybody.
Well, depends on which members we're talking about.
We get there. Okay. But you see, there's something called a pass-through cost. All right, called a pass-through cost, especially when fuel price go up. The public is saying that my members are so fast to adjust, but when it goes down, they are too slow.
They're slow.
Okay, but I educate that that's not the case. But you see, when you go and buy fuel from a BDC and you are invoiced and you have to pay that amount, regardless of when you sold it, they don't care which window dropped or which window went up. Obviously, you as a businesswoman, you want to make profit. And therefore, you need to sell at a high price when the price go up. But even that one, MP regulates it. You cannot change your price without making MP aware of that. So it's the same case when it's coming low. You need to let MP be aware 24 hours before you tap you touch your pump price. Yeah.
But let's still stay on this because it's very important. We've hosted a number of your consumers, driver union associations, and almost all the time they complain about, apart from bad fuels, we're going to get into all those details. But there are some stations that cite, you mentioned this earlier in your submission, transport issues as one of the reasons why their prices are a bit maybe higher than pump station B. Some also talk about the exchange rate volatility. How valid are these concerns or reasons these OMCs, or these BDCs raise? And like I said, are they valid reasons or are they just taking advantage of less informed consumers?
Okay, so the competition in the market today, okay, would not warrant any OMC to sell at a high price.
Okay.
You lose the market share.
Okay. So currently, you're saying that on authority?
Yes, and I'm being very factual.
Okay.
If you look at the past 5 years, if any component of the pump pricing has reduced drastically or has plateaued for a long time, it is my members' margin.
Okay.
And they complain a lot. But you see UPPF margin going up, government levies going up, CD itself being fluctuating. Everything can go up, but margin can even drop because you need to attract the market. So the question about pricing is a company-to-company policy bias. Okay, what does the company want to do? Do I want to sell more at a very low price and still make my money? Or do I want to sell the little I can sell at whatever price margin I can and make my money? You realize that a company can sell 2,000 liters and make the same net profit, not revenue, net profit at the same company that sells 500 because of the margin computation. But what I'm saying is that no member, no oil marketing company would like to sell at a price that is so high that would get their clients out of business. We have our annual report. I'll give you a copy of it. If you compare the fuel supply, I would say volumetric analysis, you see that some top 10 members lost their position, some new ones came in. Even the top, which was Gore, now has given to Star. Now Star is the #1 in terms of retail. And things change because of company-to-company policy and also corporate governance, which is individualistic. I can't go in there because I don't work for any of my members.
Right.
But I have an oversight responsibility of that, and I see what they do. But every company has its own objective for why he exists today. Someone came to the oil and gas business because he said that probably he's heard that it's lucrative. He didn't understand what it is and just came in and realized that it wasn't as he was told. They relinquish and they go. As we speak now, there are 3 new OMCs that have sprung up from nowhere. You could say it's due to change of government, Oma by Naba, so they can also make some impact. But we as a chamber, we monitor every single OMC to know who is selling what, who is selling to who, and where the product is even coming from. You understand? But there is also something that you would term mafia, but with catalyzation. So they form a cartel that runs the business, and it's something that you cannot really avoid in oil and gas business. It's a global issue. Okay, so the issue of pricing and members trying to overprice, underprice, is, even though the regulated market is something that MPA really observe and make sure that no oil marketing companies sell above certain threshold. And it's not of the interest of any oil marketing company to lose business also.
Okay. Good to hear that. You're still watching Cho Diaries right here on Joy Prime Television. What we're doing is having a conversation about the oil industry right here in Ghana. We've had so many people share concerns about, prices, fuel quality, fuel quantity. And so we thought it wise to have this conversation to get the education about the nuances of that industry right here in Ghana. We're having a conversation with Dr. Riverson Oppong. He is the CEO of the Company of Oil and Gas Marketing Company, COMAC, Ghana, right? So let's now get into the quality of fuel products. I'm sure on social media you have seen so many people share. Yourself, in your earlier, submission, you mentioned that you have been a victim of bad or tampered fuel products that are diluted,
fuel,
right?
Yeah.
When it comes to the issue of these products being tampered with or diluted, when it comes to the regulation, is it COMAC's job or is it NPA's job?
Okay, that's a very beautiful question. It's beautiful because it's a whole book. So fuel quality is the NPA's job.
Okay.
And at the same time, GSA is the referee. That's Ghana Standard Authority. So both of them will be doing quality and quantity. So NPA does mostly the quality, and you see GSA doing the quantity. That's the measurements, all right? So every pump station should be certified by GSA in terms of the quantity that they sell.
GSA is what?
Ghana Standard Authority.
Okay.
And NPA is National Petroleum Authority.
Right.
These are both authorities. And let me also say that the oil and gas downstream business is heavily regulated. You not believe that we have about 7 or 8 regulators. So it's not only NPA, it's not only GSA. We have EPA, Environmental Protection Authority.
Yeah.
We have Ghana Fire Service. We have Factory Inspector. We have MMDAs. Let me name them. Ghana Highways Authority are also with us.
Several regulators.
We are heavily regulated. And it's something that's another topic for another day.
So if you have this many regulators,
and they're all taking money.
Exactly. So why do we have, this problem?
Yeah. So
if their job is to regulate the...
And even GRA is also one of our regulators. Taking all the taxes. And we even have custom in our business, So that question is very prolific. Like we have all these checks and balances. But
so what's the problem then?
Because they're all doing different things anyway. But I mean, like the answer is MPA's job.
Okay.
What MPA has done beautifully on paper, okay, and I said on paper because on paper it looks so good and it should work, is to have the vehicles tracked so that whenever a vehicle stops, they are able to probably determine what the person is doing. But you cannot determine what the person is doing because he stopped, probably he's sick, he's tired, he's sleepy, and MPA will query that, okay? They don't want you to stop. Secondly, also stop for a long time anyway, because they would think that you are adding something or you are taking something out, because some of the drivers cannot be trusted. They park and they siphon the fuel somewhere. Secondly, they've also put the fuel marker. So there's a colored mark that they put on every chamber on the tankers, the BRVs you call it, the bulk road vehicles. And that is supposed to mark and give you an identity. So when you come to your filling station and they check you don't have that family identity, they tell you you've added another fuel from another place.
Okay.
That is still just to check quality, all right? I'm talking about quantity now, just quality. And also they've put something called the ATG, that's automatic gauge system, in the storage tank at the fuel yards to check the chemistry and quantity or volumes of the fuel. So all these checks and balances are in place, and you and I pay for it. They charge, it is in the fuel price. We pay for all these services. So, so your question is still very, very valid.
Very valid.
After paying all these things, why do you still have fuel quality issue? The question is very simple, and the answer is very simple. We need to do more of engagement, because...
On the part of the consumer or
no, on the part of the regulator.
Okay.
The consumer has nothing to do. He comes and buy fuel as an innocent person. He can't say, let me test your quality of the fuel before I put it in my tank. All right? But that's the victim that they fall into. So what I'm saying is the regulators need to do more, because how can fuel be adulterated when there are all these checks and balances? And like I was saying, when a tanker comes in the country, they check it, MP checks it, and gives a certificate before it's allowed to come into the tank farms. Even before the BDCs will now give to the OMCs before it go to the retail sites. So, and all this chain, we are checking quality seriously. The quality checks are serious. So where do you have adulteration? The adulteration comes from the condensate part. The condensate that comes from Atuabo, which is a lesser run, ends up in the tank farm some way, somehow, and it's being sold. We do have fuel that comes from somewhere, not necessarily through the system, but ends up in the retail sites, and it's being sold. Some stations also have adulterated product that they mix. It can be premise. That's supposed to go to the fishing harbor. Just because it's highly, I would say, discounted. You know, the government still discounts premise. Okay. So members who also need more revenue would like to go for it and bring it to the service station and sell as fuel, and that damages car. So the whole thing is about strengthening regulation.
You know, you've talked a lot, but I still find it difficult to, you know, get the exact answer to my question. Okay. But I can understand. And you've mentioned we have over 7 regulators, you know, to ensure, and their job is simple, to ensure that we get quality fuel. But this problem still, you know, persists. So then, as a consumer, what would be your advice to me? How can I contribute to ensure that, you know, I don't get a new car? I don't have a car yet. I'm going to get one very soon. Very soon, yeah. So if I should get my car, new car that I have suffered to buy, and I go and buy fuel, and the fuel messes up my engine, before that happens, how can I ensure that I'm getting quality? Is there any way I can go around ensuring that I get quality fuel and that the fuel I'm getting is not water, mixed with water?
So the water part, believe me, is not a big issue. When I'm doing the mystery shopping, okay, and even when MPA or GSA is doing mystery shopping, one of the things that we check is how the covers of the tanks are situated and how they are managed. And when I go to any filling station, I don't go to the pumps. The first place I go to, you can check the common social media platforms. The first place I go to is the tank, how they are situated and how the civil works are done. Because when it rains, it's when you have this problem. Water seeps into the tanks. And I'm not saying this to make a case for those who intentionally would do that. But there are cases where unintentionally water will go into the storage tanks because of the civil works and how the architecture looks like. And we question it. When we see that problem, we make sure that the sponsoring company, that's the OMC, because not all filling stations are managed by OMCs. Some are dealers and some are all those staff. We make sure that they take care of it immediately, or we close that station once we see that. When MP also goes around and they take the quality of the product and is substandard, they close and sanction the company immediately. Okay, so just to answer that part in terms of the water, okay, because I've seen people talk about we are selling water. Nobody would like to sell water to you, and in case that happens, please report to the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies or report to MPA, and that oil marketing company will be dealt with. Okay, and then probably get your car back if you need to buy a new car for you. That one can be done. So as an individual or as a consumer like you and I, even me, I'm also a consumer, even though I speak for the industry, there is little that you can do.
Wow.
There's little you can do.
That's alarming.
It is, because unless you want to go around with test kits, and like I said, you come, let me tell the quality before I put that. Yes, I mean, there are test kits that are being sold in the market, but it could buy you some 10 liters if you want to do that every time. But the onus lies on the regulator and the chamber and the stakeholders to make sure that the right fuel is being sold. We are vulnerable, to be honest with you. So I totally agree with the truck drivers who are suffering from all these, fuel quality issues.
But you know, quality is just one part of the issue. There's also the quantity. And by that I mean fuel pump tampering.
Yeah.
Where you go to a fuel station, you want to buy 5 liters worth of fuel.
And you get 4.
You get 4, you get 3. That has happened to me before.
And how did you know that?
So normally when I buy, let's say, 300 cedis worth of fuel, there's a gauge it gets to, per my experience with other stations.
All right.
So particularly this time around, I bought 300 cedis and...
Into which car? You say you don't have a car?
So when I used to drive.
Okay, sure.
And then it's at, let's say, below the gauge that I'm used to.
Okay.
So I'm like, boss.
What's it mean?
Where's Cecilio? You know, and they can't even deny it. Immediately they know that what's your...
Okay.
You know?
Right.
But again, the issue about pump tampering. Yeah. I'm wondering, is it that, you know, the pumps, I struggle to see who is, or who I can blame here. Do I blame the pump station, or do I blame where they got the pumps from? Okay. I don't know who to blame. And why do we have this issue? Why is it that I'll come to your station, I'd want to buy this, and you're giving me something different?
Yeah.
But you want to take the money for something more?
Yeah, so Noella, unfortunately, we are in a dispensation whereby some oil marketing companies want to cut corners and make money because the competition is very high. The competition is very high and it's alarming. And I repeat this. I was hoping, and I'm still hoping, that this new government will not bring any more oil marketing companies into the system.
Okay.
The number is huge.
Okay.
And it might be difficult to manage them. Seriously, and I mean this.
Why is it difficult to manage them?
Because if you have a classroom like this hall we are sitting in, to house 10 people, and you have 50 people, the same teacher, the same facility, how are you going to
doing the same thing?
Doing the same thing. How are you going to manage it? You know, so. And
all these regulators will probably take something from these fuel stations.
I didn't say that.
Go ahead.
I didn't say that.
Go ahead.
So basically, it's an issue of competition that is leading members to tamper pumps and even tamper quality of the fuel, or to adulterate the fuel or do anything to it, just to increase revenue, okay, and probably do. I mean, still maintain being in business. I don't support it. Honestly, I don't support it. And yesterday, I said it very frankly at MPA, during our engagement, our dialogue with the CEO, that the chamber can never support fuel adulteration or selling lower quality. And like I said, when I go to the stations, I do check the quantity that they sell. So the first thing, like I told you I do is I walk straight to where the tanker is. I don't even go to where the manager is to greet. I don't greet. I go straight to where your tanker is. Right. They find me with my team and they come to me. And I introduce myself. I'm the CEO for Comac and I'm here to inspect your station. Right. Then I go, I said, bring your 10-liter can. So I check 10-liter can to make sure that you're not underselling. When I went around to BA, there were 2 stations that were underselling. But I was so shocked that their station had just been certified by GSA. GSA had been there just a couple of weeks ago and had done a check and had certified. The excuse they will tell that it's a machine. Machine can develop faults at any time. But to be honest with you, one of the oil marketing companies was so blunt with me that, Doc, when I did the deal. So I sat with him and I told him that this is wrong. Whatever he did, he should go back and do it. And I made sure that was done. I went to another station and the person was overselling. When you check the 10-liter can, the station was giving more fuel than it should be. So that actually also.
But overselling, they say.
But the OMC run at a loss. Yeah. Okay. So that actually gives me that instant that it could be indeed a technical fault. Because to his mind, he's selling 10 liters, but he's selling 11 liters. And we checked it and have photos to prove it, okay? But I don't show my results on social media because I'm there to guide them. But when they're doing bad, I query them. In fact, I even report them to the regulators to come and check them. One of them, I called GSA immediately to come and log the station. I called MPA, MP, please come and log the station until they get things done well.
But Dr. Riverson,
so the quantity issue...
as a consumer, how do I check?
So again, the 10-liter can is there for you to go and check before you buy fuel. That's if you have the time.
Okay.
Please put your 10-liter can. Let me see if I can get my liter as I'm buying.
Okay.
That's if you have the time to do that.
Okay.
Every filling station has the mandate to bring it when demanded by any consumer.
Okay.
Not only the chamber, not only GSA, not only NPA. And it must be even seen at the, what do you call it? At the yard or at the forecourt of the filling station. The reason why we normally don't say this so much is because somebody doesn't even have a car, is walking and say, hey, please, bring your 10-liter can. He's not even a consumer, but because he has said that anybody at all can go and ask, they also go and harass my members. Those ones, they fight with. I've seen fights before, all right? But if you have doubt with this particular station, that probably they are cheating you, don't go and quarrel with them. Drive there with your car, say that, please, before I buy, I want to check your 10-liter can. Okay. Take a photo, send to me, you have my number, or you have the MPA number, please send it to us, and we are going to deal with the person.
Okay, we are wrapping up, and in wrapping up, should any consumer, you've briefly touched on it, but should any consumer also feel cheated at any station, be it fuel quality, be it fuel quantity? Are there some clear steps that they can take? You mentioned in your earlier submission that even in the case of your car being faulty, we could fix it or we could get you a new one. That's also possible. But what are the steps? Because that education is not there. So oftentimes they would complain, take videos, come and put it on social media, but the problem still persists. Yeah. So what are the steps? So
NPA has a customer complaint department, which I serve on the board. I'll get a number for you, which you can display online. Okay. But if you go to mpa.com or if there's .g or whatever, go to MPA website, they have a number that you can call. It's a helpline, and you can call to complain. They'll invite you to MPA and you can make a case. So giving you the proof, and the oil marketing company will be called to the disciplinary committee. Okay. I mean, we've had a very, I would have loved to go on and on, but time is not on our side right now. But in wrapping up, let me ask you on a light end, how do you check yourself for the quality and quantity? Do you shake your car to ensure that for new corners like other people do? Or you have a particular station, a trusted station, you'd be like, oh, this station there, I can vouch for them, so I always go there. So you'd be shocked that I bought from all my members. Okay. I bought from everybody. He's trying to be... No. I have to do that. Diplomatic. No. I intentionally buy randomly to check quality of service. Okay. To check fuel, because my car is very sensitive. If the fuel quality is bad, I'll detect it. Okay. What car is it, by the way? I can't say it. You can't say it. Go ahead. I'll say it at the end. I hear you, no problem. Go ahead. I'm able to detect that, and if I see anything wrong, I can call on the station to look at quantity or quality. But I don't have that time to check that I went 2 days or 3 days with the fuel I bought at the same price. Because if I say I bought at 300 cedis and I could drive for 1 week, and I bought 300 cedis 2 weeks' time, when fuel price might have increased. So you couldn't get the liters that you got last week. So this week is another regime. Price might have increased. There's another regime where fuel price will go down, the 300 cedis will be more. Then you do more. It's already a cheaper out, but you don't know that the price has changed. So that you don't engage with kilometers. And that's why we are also talking to the truck drivers. Right. That when fuel price go down, they should also reduce the fuel price. So I made this call to them last week. They are what do you call it? They are tariffs. Because there's something we call in economics, because my PhD is actually in petroleum economics, self-inflation. We are practicing this very, very silly self-inflation in this country. When fuel price go down, we maintain it.
It's everywhere.
But when it goes up,
yeah,
you want to increase again because now it's going up. But forgetting that it was there and it came down and it's gone back.
Yeah.
We're actually monitoring at the chamber now. They are failing to reduce the price with the excuse that spare parts are expensive. So they want to maintain it. So you're watching. When fuel price probably won't go up again, and we hear that BS, you will see what we'll do for them.
And I had a conversation with him for Joy FM yesterday, and he mentioned that on the 15th of May, they will be coming out with another report, possibly on a reduction.
And coming down again. Yeah, it's coming down again.
Yeah, of fuel prices. So that's some good news. We hope our trotro drivers and unions are watching. Right? So that's a conversation. We've been having a conversation with Dr. Riverson Oppong. He is the CEO of the oil marketing companies in Ghana, COMAC for short, and he's been educating us on the nuances about the oil industry here in Ghana. We've complained, we've lamented, but I'm sure today we've got some education. And so in wrapping up, I'd say a very big thank you to him, a big thank you to you for doing the watching, and of course to Debbie Sway for bringing us the Vox. That was really insightful and entertaining as always. Big shouts to our camera technicians, camera crew. Hi, what's up, guys? What's up? Thank you to my producer, Martin and Essie, and of course, my director. If I do not shout her out, Santoa, if I do not shout her out, she can kill me. And that's it, guys, for our show. And hopefully next week we're back on your screens with another brilliant edition of the show. Until then, stay tuned and hooked on Joy Prime Television. I'm Noella Karen Yali.